Have you ever tried elote loco?
No, what is elote loco?
Say elote.
Elote loco.
Elote loco, okay. Elote loco, it translates literally to English as crazy corn, okay? You ever seen elote, how it is?
Yeah, they have like corn and they put like sauce, like gray sauce on it, and they dip it in like crushed hot Cheetos and other chips or something else.
That's the Mexican style. But yes, it's similar to that, okay? What crazy corn for the Salvadorian, I don't know if I want to call it a dish. It's more like a snack, okay? For us, what we do is we top it with mayonnaise. Some people do it with mustard, salsa negra, what they call salsa inglesa, ketchup, and sometimes Parmesan cheese. And but my combination of ingredients, is the way I like my elote loco is just mayonnaise, ketchup, and Parmesan cheese. I'm sure you have seen me eat fries. How do I eat my fries?
Ketchup, mayonnaise, and Parmesan cheese.
That's right. And the first time I tried this, I was in El Salvador.
How old were you when you were in Salvador and ate elote loco?
It was in the year 2000, so I was pretty much 10 years old.
Okay.
And ever since then, man, I tried that. It was it was a game changer for me. And ever since then I started eating my stuff, my fries like that. It's every chance that I get. And I bring food up because cooking is one of those examples of what today's podcast is based off of. In the reps, when you hear that, what do you hear?
Or like, I don't know.
Okay, and that's okay, But this episode is based off of things that you do on a constant basis repeatedly, okay? And what happens when you do them every single day? You will eventually be really good at it,
Like in my soccer practice?
Correct. While you guys practice, so you guys could get good at it every single time. It's in the reps. Reps means like repetition. To do it over and over again. Okay, you gotta do it as much as possible.
So it's like you wake up, you brush your teeth, eat breakfast, and then you eat lunch and then go to sleep or dinner, and then you wake up and then do the same thing all over again?
Yes, that's repetition. But if you use that action that you're saying right now for other things, right? A lot of people, they use it for their jobs, okay? They use it for their routines. That's what you're talking about right now. What you're talking about is brushing your teeth, waking up. That's
like you?
Yes, that's a routine. You also see it in people's behavior. You see it in people's actions. You see it in skills and even habits. Even this podcast. When I do this podcast, I've done it so much every single day, of studying and preparing for it, that it automatically, when you start practicing and start doing stuff like that, it becomes subconscious. Okay?
Okay.
That repetition, that thing that you're doing every single day, it starts to train and develop your mind. All right?
Okay.
But put in that process of doing something repeatedly over and over again requires two things.
What are those two things?
It requires presence,
Okay.
and it requires discipline.
Discipline.
Presence, why do you think it requires presence?
I don't know.
It requires you to be there. It requires you to be present. It requires you to show up to practice, okay? And it requires you to be disciplined. When you hear discipline, what do you hear?
What do I hear?
Well, what do you understand behind the word discipline?
Like, if you do something wrong, like at practice, someone, like if someone did something wrong, they had to run a lap. So that's how I see discipline.
Well, discipline is him maybe running the lap. okay? Because what discipline means is when you sometimes, excuse me, sometimes you don't want to do something. Sometimes you don't want to go to practice. Sometimes maybe I don't want to research stuff for my podcast, but I have to do it. So discipline is you saying, yo, I'm going to do it, even if I don't want to do it. Because every day you wake up, you don't always wake up happy. You don't always wake up all cheery. You know what I'm saying? You don't wake up like that. There's some days where we wake up feeling bad. And it's okay to feel like that because we all sometimes feel like that. But it's that discipline that will always keep you moving forward, you know? And eventually, when you do this thing, your brain will create a pathway to your subconscious mind. Do you know what's a subconscious mind? A subconscious mind is that part of your mind that notices and remembers information when you are not actively trying to do so. So it influences your behavior even though you don't realize it. The memory was buried deep in your subconscious mind. You know what does that mean? I'll give you a perfect example. When I started to learn how to cook, I didn't know what certain things were. I didn't know where it was a knife. I didn't know what was the seasoning. So I'm like, it's like in the kitchen, it was chaotic. I was trying to learn from a recipe.
Who teach you how to cook?
My friend Michelle gave me this recipe, and she was the one who taught me. So that was a really good question. But check this out. So going back to what I'm saying, I was lost. I was, damn, what is this and that? But when I started to cook every day, right? I've been cooking for about like 8 years.
8 years?
Yeah, I started to cook in New York, you know. Just little stuff, you know. Pollo guisado and arroz was a recipe that my homegrown gave me, okay? So anyways, when I started to do that repeatedly, every day, you know what I'm saying?
You got the hang of it?
I got the hang of it. I started, my body, my subconscious mind, what I'm trying to talk to you about right now, my subconscious mind automatically started to move my hands in certain places. Like, all right, I knew the knife is here. So my arm would reach out to the knife, pull it out, get the seasoning, you're moving everything. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like how I did it. Like, because I always, like, sometimes I help you do, like, patties. And I know the seasonings and the sauces.
That's right. Don't say it on the podcast because it's my recipe you're giving away. But check this out. Now that we're talking about subconscious minds, let's talk about what are some of the functions of your subconscious mind. Okay. What are some of the things that your subconscious mind does, and what it is your subconscious mind is like a memory. It's like a memory bank for everything, you know, which is not in our conscious mind. Okay, what is a conscious decision? I'm gonna grab these glasses right here. I'm literally intentionally doing it. Okay, I'm being conscious of what I'm doing. Okay.
So you're saying, and then you're doing it.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm saying it and I'm doing it. Okay, but the subconscious minds, right? It stores, like I was telling you, like it's like a memory. Okay, it does things that you don't know it does, but it's working even though you don't know it's not aware of it. Okay, and the subconscious mind stores our beliefs, you know, believing in God, our previous experiences, our memories, and our skills. Okay, it keeps all of that in there, so it permanently stores everything that we have seen, done, or thought, whether it's realistically or unrealistically. Now, let me break that down because it sounds a bit confusing. I'll give you a perfect example of what the subconscious mind does.
Okay.
The subconscious mind tells you how to breathe. Think about it. Do you have to sit here and think about you're going to breathe? You just breathe, right?
Yeah. So it's like automatic.
Yes. It goes, when you do something repeatedly over and over and over again, that part of the brain takes control.
Like how we're talking right now.
What do you mean?
Like we're talking, and we don't have to think about it.
Something like that.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Well, yes.
And blinking.
And blinking. There you go. That's a subconscious thing that you don't constantly do. But what is a conscious decision when it comes to for example, a conscious decision, right, is you breathing strategically and changing your patterns. Meaning, you're like, all right, I'm gonna breathe like when I'm nervous. When I'm nervous, right, or like when I went skydiving, I took four deep breaths. It's the 4 second rule. Breathe in 4 seconds, hold it in 4 seconds, and release. That's how I calm myself down.
Oh,
You
so
see that?
it's like
That's a conscious decision that I'm doing it. But when I'm working, what I'm doing right now, my subconscious mind is making me breathe while we're talking. What was your question?
so like you know how practice when I come back I'm breathing like this. So it's like that.
Well, that's more because you're tired. You know what I'm saying? But yes, even though when you're tired, your body automatically breathes the way it's supposed to breathe. So now the question is this: what does repetition do to your subconscious mind? Okay, meaning what is doing something every single day do to that subconscious mind? Okay, the subconscious mind is driven by repetition. So to take control of the mind that is in control of you, me, is in control of us, we need to rewire it by repetition. And by doing such thing, that allows us to program and reprogram ourselves. You know what reprogram means? It means you do. They say if you do something every single day for a month, it becomes a habit, and it's true. I've been doing this podcast. This episode is number 8. It marks 2 months since I launched it. And I pretty much already have that habit of keeping that subconscious. My subconscious mind is thinking, all right, remember, you got to do this, you got to do that, all right?
Or
So,
like when I go to practice, like sometimes we know what we're gonna do, but sometimes we don't know what we're gonna do.
yeah,
Like
well, something like that.
on Fridays we do P kicks, which stands for penalty kicks, and we all know that. And Fridays are like our fun days, and Saturdays we have to wake up and go to 12 because sometimes my game's at 1, and we have to wake up, get dressed, and then go.
Yeah.
Cause like.
But look,
knows
all right, what's a conscious decision is you going to practice? What's a subconscious decision is while you're running your drills, the ball's coming towards you, you're not thinking about it, you just swing your leg. That's what the subconscious mind does. And that's why you have to go practice. That's why every day not every day, but you have to be there. So like I said, you got to be present and you got to be disciplined. What does research say about repetition and what it does to the brain? Okay, I went online and I searched the most that I can. And in psychology, it's well known that the human brain uses repetition to feel secure about daily life. What does that mean?
Daily life?
Look, this is what it means. When you first go to school, okay, the first day you walk into school, you feel confused.
That's true.
Where am I going? Where's my class? I'm lost. You're asking questions, okay? But when you do repetitive stuff, you do it repeatedly, you're constantly doing it over and over again, within weeks later of you going to school,
you don't even think about it.
You don't think
about it.
That's your subconscious mind, all right? For example, if you want to remember something, okay, a fact, say it out loud a few times, okay? And after you learn it, do the same thing a few hours later. And then the next day, and then the following week. You consistently keep doing that, and your subconscious mind, your memory bank, will pick it up. I'll give you an example. Me, when I used to rap, when I used to do music. When I used to go record to the studio, I never wanted to record with my paper and my pad in front of me. I wanted to go and I wanted to have that thing memorized. So how do you think I was memorizing this thing?
You were reading it every day?
Repeatedly. It's in the reps. You got to do it over and over and over again. I'm going to give you an interesting fact, a quick interesting story, okay? when I moved back to New York from Georgia, I used to work at a Subway. It was approximately, I want to say, 3 to 4 miles from where I used to live. So I used to have to walk 3 to 4 miles. And at the time, I was still young, so I was working on getting my permit, my driver's permit. So when you get your driver's permit, you kind of have to study like 100 questions, and they ask you 20 questions.
100 questions?
Yep. And you know what I did? You know how I memorized that? I wrote a song about the questions. And every time I would walk those 3 to 4 miles to Subway, down Crooked Hill, people in Brentwood would know. I would listen to it. All right. And every time I heard it, every time I repeated, it was a step closer to my goal. And what was the goal? To memorize the questions. So as long as you take one step at a time, you will move forward. You don't know how many steps you will have to take in order to reach your goal, but it doesn't matter, bro. What's important is that you keep going and you don't stop, and that you repeatedly do it over and over and over again. All right. Where do you think this phrase in the reps came from? Now, I can't take that credit for that statement. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It's all in the reps. I got that from somebody. You remember Dre?
Dre?
Yeah, from Booster.
Oh, yeah.
Dre. All right. When I first moved to Georgia, he was a really good friend of mine. He still is. He currently lives in Arizona. Shout out to you, Dre. Send me some beats. Dre was a wonderful person. I learned a lot from him. And he was the producer, so we interacted and we connected about music. We discussed a lot about music. I learned from him. I learned syllables. I remember I was teaching you how to count syllables when your bars. You know what I'm saying? I learned bridges. I learned how to. I didn't learn how to, but he explained and he gave a name to a lot of the stuff that I was going through of music that I didn't know, like counting bars when you spit, cadency, all of that stuff. I was able to learn. Like I knew it because I was doing it so much over and over again. My subconscious mind would do it, but my conscious mind didn't have a label for it. I didn't know what counting was. Music is like math, 16 bars. If you want to stretch out a big bar and you want to say something, your first bar has to be about like 4 or 5 syllables, short. And then you give yourself enough space to spit the other bar. Well, anyways, he had that saying. He had that saying of, it's all in the reps. You got to do it over and over and over again, okay? And I'm going to end it with this. To summarize the definition of it's in the reps, from my experience, would be this: a repetition of an action or skill constantly and consistently done every day will develop a path that will lead you to mastery on whatever it is that you're doing.
Okay.
Think about it. How do you learn your ABCs?
School?
But what do you have to do? You have to repeat it, right?
Yeah, memorize it.
And sometimes when you write stuff, what do you got to do? You got to write it over and over again. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
That's what it is, until our subconscious mind takes that information into our memory bank. It'll do it if you do it every single day.
So like when we go places and you memorize that place, like where you've been?
Yeah, like going to your soccer practices. When I first go to a place, I GPS it 1-2 times. But I after the third, fourth time that I consistently go, I consistently travel that route, I automatically know how to get there. So my subconscious mind already knows, all right, I gotta make a right here, I gotta make a left. And then my conscious mind is the one that's driving. Okay? And I believe this information that I told you, Sebastian, I believe it to be true, that if you do something every single day, you will get good at it. And something to remember is repetition is important in manifestation because it helps to reinforce the desired outcome of the subconscious mind. Okay, so you got to do things over and over and over again. All right, so remember though, what are the two things that you need in order for you to be successful in doing something repeatedly. Okay? You have to be what?
Present.
And what?
Discipline.
Disciplined. You have to show up even if you don't want to go. All right? Thanks, Sebastian. Appreciate you, brother. Well, you just kick around, hang out.
Brother, you mean your son?
Son, brother, you my everything, man. You're my champ. You're my king. You know what I'm saying? But before I end this, I want to give the audience a few updates on what's going on. And I think, Sebastian, you're gonna end it with the shout outs of the people that went to your soccer game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We'll end it there. But these are some of the updates. So I'm changing the podcast's release dates. I know some of you realize that I drop on Sundays. I'm actually strategizing and planning to drop these episodes on Friday. Every single Friday. For as long as I'm alive. I'm also strategizing. I don't know if you guys have noticed that I'm making the episodes a little bit shorter because I'm trying to position myself into dropping an episode at least 2 times a week. So that's the reason why I'm making these episodes a bit shorter. Also, I'm also currently working on releasing the content on Apple Music. Like I said to you guys, I'm learning this whole thing. So please, if, y'all need something or you want me to work on something, feel free to let me know and we'll definitely do it. So I'm trying to push myself to work harder on the podcast so I'll be able to deliver more content to you guys. Obviously, if I bring on a guest, sometimes the conversations get really interesting and it'll be more than expected. But definitely I'm working on, like I said, these few updates. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I cover all my notes. Another thing, with my sister's loss of her child, I haven't been posting much and I apologize for that. I've just been trying to get some things in place and be there for my sister as much as I possibly can. So that's why I'm not there releasing a lot of stuff. And I want to give a big shout out to Extreme Heat Pete, episode number 6, which is currently doing great in numbers. I want to also give a big shout out to GKM Enterprises for the interaction with Extreme Heat Pete and recommending him to try the Valentina sauce, which I will put some of the stuff on the recap. But yes, Extreme Heat Pete did try Valentina sauce, and I'll put the link to that episode so you guys could see his reaction to Valentina sauce. And I just wanted to give a shout out to them. If you ever need something, landscape, t-shirts, decals, stickers, feel free to reach out to JKM Enterprises LLC. They are on Instagram. Sorry, I said that wrong. But anyways, thank you guys. Episode number 9 in the reps. Sebastian, you end it with your shout outs.
Shout out to Titi Liz, Tio Nova, Titi Rosa, and Tio Jorge for going to my soccer game.
Nice. Thank you guys, and I hope everybody stays safe, stay warm. The cold weather is coming, so get your hoodies and your sweatpants, all right? Deuces.